In my very first video, I discussed making a really great first impression. Now, making a really great first impression is a whole lot easier than changing an impression that somebody already has of you. It can be done, but it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a lot of work. It takes dedication and commitment. If you don't want to be seen as, for instance, a snob or a gossip or stuck up or whatever it is that you don't want to be seen as, then you can't be that. When I was a teenager, I had been told that people's perception of me was that I was stuck up. And I wasn't stuck up, but I was shy. I was very, very self-conscious and very unsure of myself in public. So I tended to be very quiet. And having manners and etiquette and presentation drilled into me my entire life, I always had my presentation on point. And as a teenager, that is not something that is always what teenagers do. Most teenagers tend to be a lot more laid back, a lot sloppier, and I wasn't as much as my friends. And I wore it almost as an armor, as a shield. And hence I got the reputation for being stuck up. But when people got to know me and know who I was, slowly over time they changed their perception of me as somebody that was actually friendly, warm, approachable. But because I was so self-conscious and I did look different than other people, their initial first impression of me didn't go over as I would have wished it to. But it took me a long time to figure out that I had to come across immediately as somebody that was warm, friendly, approachable, and not wear my personality and my presentation as a shield and as armor to keep people at bay. You can change people's perception of you, but you have to be genuine. It takes a lot of work. So if you don't want to be seen as loud or obnoxious or a Karen or a gossip, you need to learn to regulate your speech and hold things back when you really want to lash out or speak out or be loud. Learn how to moderate your voice tones. Speak in a lower register. Speak softer. Make sure you pay attention to people and give them direct eye contact so that you can clearly hear and understand what they're saying and that they can see that you're being sincere without having to raise your voice. Don't talk behind people's backs. Don't share the latest juicy gossip. Keep it professional. Keep it in the right venue for where you are. It needs to apply to your situation, but you also need to come across as who you are genuinely and who you want to be seen as. Because if you're not genuine, people can tell. They're going to instantly be able to know there is something wrong, something off. And even the best actresses give away their personalities over time, even if not the first time, but over time. And people will get to know you and get to know who you are. And if you want to be seen as honest and approachable, be honest. Be approachable. Start your conversations with a smile. Don't have closed off body language. Make sure you keep great eye contact. But don't be so intense that you're just so focused and you make people uncomfortable. Learn your cues, learn your body language, learn your voice moderation. Learn when to say what you want to say and how to say it without being obnoxious, and when not to. A lot of social cues depend on listening more than speaking. So you need to learn how and when to keep your mouth shut, how and when to voice your opinion. Don't come off as being the biggest brain in the room, the know-it-all. You know everything. Well, you might be the smartest person in the room, but if you come over like that to begin with, you will make people uncomfortable and they won't want to talk to you. Try to practice humility if that is the issue that you want to avoid being seen as. Come across as, I'm not perfect. Everybody is special and unique, and no one is perfect. Everybody needs help. Everybody has things to learn. Everyone is on a constant learning curve. And if you're not having forward momentum and forward growth. So to actually put the work in and change people's perceptions of you, you get up every day. You ask yourself, who am I? How do I want to be seen? How do I want to come across to people? Is this the person I really am? And how can I be viewed in the best possible light? And you go about your day with that in your mindset, so that when you greet people and when you come across as your genuine, personable, open self, they're going to see who you are and not your shield or your brashness or your loudness or whatever it is that you're not overly pleased about showing. Changing people's perspective of you is a lot harder and a lot more work than making that good first impression like we talked about in my first video. To change something that's already in someone's mind takes work, takes effort, takes focus. And it's a long-term process. It works over time. You're not going to change someone's perspective and someone's perception of you in one meeting, in one instant. It's just not going to happen. They're going to wonder what kind of happy pill you took that day, or what kind of serious pill you took that day, but they're going to think it's a one-off event. In order to change people's perception, you have to put the work in. So if you come across as an angry person or an emotional person, and you don't want people to see you as angry or emotional, you have to put the work in on yourself first. That could mean going and getting help, getting therapy, having some anger management classes. It could look like as simple as that, but over the long term, you get yourself tips, tricks, tools. You have a tool bag that you accumulate on how to go through and change these things, sometimes one at a time. Sorry about the dogs in the background. We've got all the windows open trying to air the house out for this lovely, lovely fall weather. But build your toolbox and changing people's perspective of you is a lot harder and a lot more work than making that good first impression like we talked about in my first video. To change something that's already in someone's mind takes work, takes effort, takes focus. And it's a long-term process. It works over time. You're not going to change someone's perspective and someone's perception of you in one meeting, in one instant. It's just not going to happen. They're going to wonder what kind of happy pill you took that day, or what kind of serious pill you took that day, but they're going to think it's a one-off event. In order to change people's perception, you have to put the work in. So if you come across as an angry person or an emotional person, and you don't want people to see you as angry or emotional, you have to put the work in on yourself first. That could mean going and getting help, getting therapy, having some anger management classes. It could look like as simple as that, but over the long term, you get yourself tips, tricks, tools. You have a tool bag that you accumulate on how to go through and change these things, sometimes one at a time. Sorry about the dogs in the background. We've got all the windows open trying to air the house out for this lovely, lovely fall weather. But build your toolbox and so you can gain things to add to your toolbox over time. Maybe learn manners. Sorry about the dogs. Manners, etiquette, protocol, whatever it is that you want to build into people's perception of you, build into a more professional or a more personal or a more personable view of you. These are the things that you need to figure out how to add into your toolbox, whether that includes therapy, anger management classes, whether that includes etiquette lessons, speech mannerisms, more reading. If you want to come across as more well-read, more learned, more educated, start reading books, start reading classics, start reading histories, biographies. All of these things can help and be tools in your toolbox. And over time, the more you read, the more you educate yourself, the more educated and intelligent you're going to come across. The more therapy you have, or the more anger management classes you take, the calmer you're going to come across, the more emotionally stable. And as you're working on yourself, people will see the changes that you are enacting in your life, and it will change their perception of you. To change someone's perception of you physically is a whole lot easier than emotionally or personality-wise. Personality and emotion take a whole lot of time, a whole lot of effort, a lot of commitment, and you have to go at it in a very dedicated fashion. To change someone's perception of you physically could be as simple as start ironing your clothes if you don't iron your clothes all the time. Make sure that your clothes smell good. Make sure that they're well pressed. Make sure that they're well mended, that you're not got rips, tears, loose threads everywhere, or you're not covered in animal fur. Make sure that your skin is clean and healthy looking, or your hair is neat, your nails are neat, that you don't look sloppy or slovenly. These are things that you can do that will instantly upgrade your appearance, and it will also help change people's perception of you physically. If you are overweight, and there is no slight on that, I myself was overweight for many years, and it took a lot of work and a lot of effort to get to a healthy weight and a comfortable weight for me. But it bothered me a great deal, and I was very self-conscious about it. And I didn't want to be seen as the fat, sloppy girl. And when I was overweight, I didn't want to be seen as the one that came out in clothes that were very absolutely showing all the rolls and all the jelly and all the things hanging out. And I was very, very self-conscious of that. And I wanted to always be well put together, even when I was overweight. But I didn't want to be seen as a big girl. I wanted to be seen as a healthy woman. So I put in the time and the effort and all of the hard work to change my body shape and my body size. And I'm not as self-conscious about my body now as I used to be. Because of the time and the effort that I put into it, I changed the way people saw me physically. Personality-wise, is a lot harder, like I said. You're going to put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of work. And it's going to take consistency and dedication. And you have to do it in a genuine, dedicated manner. If you just put in superficial changes, you're not going to get long-term results. Just like with any other life change, you're going to need to put in the work with the education, with whatever it is. If you are, instead of, say, angry or loud, say you're the opposite, say you're shy, very self-conscious, very introverted, and you don't want to be shy and self-conscious and introverted. You want more friends. You want to be able to make friends. You want to be able to talk to people. You need to do that by taking small steps and building up to it. Start with, make sure that when you look at people, you're greeting them with a smile and you're not looking down. When you walk into a room, you're not walking in with your arms wrapped around you like, oh, don't look at me. I'm not worthy of being here, or I'm scared of you, or I'm shy. You have to come in with more open, a more pleasant countenance, approachable. But these aren't things that you learn to do consistently all at once. This is something that you have to practice. You can practice with yourself in the mirror. You can practice with your family. You can practice with what friends you do have now. Practice taking small steps, like going up and introducing yourself. Practice your greetings. Practice your handshake, your smile. How would you start a conversation? Look it up on the internet. Conversation starters. What are good topics of conversation to begin with when you meet someone? If you go to church and you're withdrawn and you don't talk to anybody, but you really want to start making friends in that church or that place of business or your work, start going up to one person at a time and make the effort. That's how you build your social network. That's how you network. And you will change people's perception of the shy introvert into someone that's more approachable, more outgoing, someone that's friendly. You will become more comfortable doing it the more you practice it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to change a perception, to change an image, but it's definitely worth the effort. I hope this helps you. Like with anything else, it takes consistency, it takes effort, it takes the hard work. But it is absolutely worth it. Good luck. I hope you have a terrific week. If you liked this video, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. What are you struggling with? What would you like to change? I can possibly give you some tips and tricks. I'd love to have a conversation with you. If you'd like a little bit more in-depth on leveling up your life, leveling up your presentation, manners, etiquette, check out my books. I'll leave them linked in the video description below. I have the book, The Art of Elevated Presentation, which is manners, etiquette, poise, presentation. I have also the book, Activate Your Ascent. It's leveling up your whole life, at home, in public, I'd love to be able to help you. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.